Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and on this video, we're gonna dive into the foods that you should be eating and you shouldn't be eating to get the best out of your thyroid. This is part 3 of a series I've done for you. So go back and watch the other 2 parts. You'll see that they all connect. And on this particular video, we're gonna dive into some questions like, is the ketogenic diet helpful or harmful? What happens if you go into calorie restriction too long? What foods can you be eating? I got a ton of science for you and some really practical tips. So as always, if you're moved by this information, share it out to the world, subscribe to my channel. I'm here to empower you to be the best version of you possible. So get ready. I'm excited to bring you this one. Hope it helps. Okay, Dr. Mindy here, and this is the third part of a series I've done for you guys on the thyroid. And go back and make sure you watch the other 2 parts because I did this specifically where I wanted to put 3 things together for you. I wanted to give you a bigger picture of how to look at the thyroid. I wanted to talk about fasting in the thyroid. There were a lot of little nuances that was important to show you the research on. And today I want to dive into what foods are going to help your thyroid and what foods are going to hurt your thyroid. And we're specifically going to dive into some research I found on the ketogenic diet. And I think it's really important that we talk about this as well. So let me go back to this idea. Remember that when you're looking at the number for TSH or T4, that you're dealing with the brain and the thyroid, and that tends to be more of a toxicity issue. When you're dealing with T4 and T3, that has to do with the liver and gut. And when you're dealing with reverse T3, that has to do with your adrenals. And if all your numbers are great and you still have all the symptoms of a thyroid issue, you're really dealing with a cellular issue. And so you're going to need to really focus in on cellular healing. So that's sort of a big picture way of approaching this. For this video, when we dive in and we start talking about food, it really comes down to the health of your liver and your gut. So we want to make sure that you are making that conversion from T4 to T3. Remember, if you're on medication, what they're usually doing is working with your T4 levels. But what we want to do is make sure that that T4 is getting converted into T3 so it can get into the cell and it can create a metabolic effect so you can have everything you've ever dreamed about with a properly functioning thyroid. So on this video, I've got 5 things for you guys diet-wise that are critical to think about to be able to make this conversion from T4 to T3 that's happening in the liver and the gut. Okay? Get ready, and I got some studies for you as well. So first thing I want to tell you, and this one is going to be shocking, but actually the next 2 are going to be shocking. The first thing that you absolutely have to convert T4 into T3 is you have to have the proper amount of calories. Okay, well, what is the proper amount of calories? Well, there's no research. I looked for that. There's no research saying eat this amount of calories if you're this way to get your thyroid functioning well. But we are seeing research that if you are in a starvation mode, when you go into a restricted calorie place, that it signals an increase in cortisol. And as cortisol goes up, then your liver, your adrenals, every part of that thyroid cascade starts to create more reverse T3, and you do not convert T4 into T3, you convert T4 into reverse T3. Reverse T3 is a problem. It will block the receptor sites for T3 and it will slow down your metabolism. So calorie depleted diets are not going to help your thyroid hormone. Now, I know that you guys are probably asking this question. Well, what about fasting? Where does fasting fit into this? And what about fast mimicking, where we talk about these calorie restricted moments? Stay tuned through the end of this, because this is where it is so imperative that we don't just go into this fasting 1 meal a day state where we are in a semi-starvation place month after month after month. That is going to damage all your hormones, but what we're seeing here is it will absolutely start to get your body producing more reverse T3, not enough T3, and you will notice the side effect will be an improper thyroid response. So first thing is calories. Okay, second thing, this is going to surprise you as well. There is several studies, some done on kids, some done on men. I couldn't find any on women, and they're small studies. They're not large studies that are showing that when insulin goes down for a long period of time, that the liver stops converting T4 into T3. So it's like a switch that turns the liver off, so it is unable to convert T4 into T3. So that is an issue, especially if we've been ketogenic for months and months and months, is that now you may be jeopardizing your thyroid. We see this with you guys who have watched my videos on estrogen and progesterone. You know that we see this in perimenopausal women all the time. There definitely seems to be a piece of the ketogenic diet that is harmful to the endocrine glands. Does that mean you need to stop doing the ketogenic diet, that you need to throw it out? Absolutely not. It means that we need to have more variation with our keto diet, especially if we're sitting in a lane where we're trying to heal a thyroid issue, or we're trying to heal a hormonal issue like low progesterone or estrogen that's too high. Those type of situations need more keto variation than anything else. So that is the second thing. And I've got the article. There is actually the article that I'm going to show you here and link in the notes with 6 men that it was done on. I have several articles also showing that they noticed it in children, that when they were on a ketogenic diet for seizures, that they found that there was a decrease in their T3 production. Okay, so that's the second thing. Okay. Now the third thing, so we don't want to be in a starvation state. We don't want to go keto all the time. So the third thing is that we absolutely need that liver to be functioning well. So remember, if the thyroid is secreting T4, T4 goes to the liver and it's now going to be converted into T3. We need the health of that liver to be really at its best to make that conversion. So there are 5 different nutrients you need to be getting into your diet on a regular basis so that we can support your liver and keep your liver working strong so that it can convert these T4 to T3. So let me go through these. This is where it's quite detailed, so hang in there with me. One is that the 5 nutrients you need are glutathione, amino acids, enzymes, zinc, and selenium. So let me break some of these down. Amino acids. Amino acids are found in organ meats, and they're found in grass-fed meats. So there is a lot of talk recently about organ meats and how beneficial they are. I know that US Wellness Meats has a combination of regular meat mixed with organ meat. I just interviewed Allie Miller from my podcast, who wrote the Anti-Anxiety Cookbook, and she has several books on anti-anxiety diet, and a big part of her anti-anxiety diet is making sure that you are getting organ meats and that you're getting these amino acids into your diet. Okay, second thing, cruciferous vegetables. So you need the Brussels sprouts, the broccolis, the cauliflower. Those have more glutathione production in them, so they're going to help, or glutathione in them, so they're going to help with glutathione production that the liver needs to be able to convert T4 into T3. Okay, beets. So beets have enzymes in them that help with the flow and stimulation and production of bile. You need bile to be able to help the liver detoxify. Eggs. Eggs have a glutathione production that have a enzyme that will help with glutathione production. It also will help with cellular methylation. And those of you who followed me here know that we need to methylate so that we are able to get these get toxins out of the cell. Okay, then we move on to zinc-rich foods. So you need zinc so the liver can convert T4 into T3. And this is oysters, beef, crab, pumpkin seeds, cashews, and chickpeas. So many of these, again, we're back at you may be looking at some of these different foods and going, they're not ketogenic. This is why we need to do some keto variation. Okay, and then the last one is selenium. And selenium you can find in Brazil nuts, tuna, halibut, sardines, turkey, beef liver. We're back at the organ meats. So again, if you follow me on Instagram, we will create a little square with all of those things on there so that you can have like a checklist and understand how you can start to add these in. I don't expect you to memorize all these, but I want you to see that you have more control than just taking medication or not taking medication. Okay, now let's move to 2 more things. Number 4 is that you need to be able to support a healthy gut. So remember, the conversion is happening in the liver and the gut. So I've done a lot of articles on a healthy gut. So prebiotic, probiotic, and polyphenol foods. I'm pretty sure my team will come in here and create a link for you so that you can go and watch those videos. But we need to be working on plant diversity. We need to be working on more of these prebiotic foods, these sauerkrauts. We need to work more on the polyphenol foods like cloves and spices. All of that is going to promote a healthy gut. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to just point out is that it is incredibly important for you to make sure that you're staying away from inflammatory foods. And I'm going to just point out some of the obvious ones. The wrong oils, soybean oils, canola oils, vegetable oils. These are going to cause cellular inflammation, and they're going to make it very difficult for the thyroid hormone to get into the cell to activate metabolism. So make sure you know your oils, you're picking the right oils to create a good cellular health. Fake ingredients, all the processed foods. When you pick up a package, do you read the ingredients? Can you pronounce those foods? If you can't, if it's a nitrite, or if it's red dye number 4, or if it's a Diet Coke with NutraSweet in it, these are synthetic chemicals that are going to cause cellular inflammation. This is one of the major problems that we have with diet foods right now. Something like Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig is what we've got an issue going on there, is that they're chemical-laden foods and they're causing cellular inflammation. And if you want to get your thyroid working right, you've got to get that junk out so that the cells can receive the thyroid hormone and you can activate your metabolism. Okay? So 5 things that I brought to you. Don't stay in starvation state over and over and over again. Doesn't mean you don't fast. You just got to make sure that you're doing your fasting variations like I teach here. Second, keto variations. Don't stay in keto months after months after months. Throw some feast days in. I like once a week or every couple of weeks to throw one in. Support your liver. Make sure your liver is getting the right nutrients so it can function properly. Make sure your gut is getting the right nutrients, and then avoid the inflammatory foods. If you do that, if you do follow this the 3 videos I did here, I promise you're gonna see a change. In fact, some of you have probably already done that. And just let us know, because this is a community that gains information from each other. So put it in the comments. But this is the foundation of how you take amazing care of your thyroid. If you want to dive into this stuff more, join us in my Reset Academy. This is what we do. I bring the science to my membership group. We talk about it, and we help people discover the right health path for them, because you were born in a body that is miraculous. You just have never been taught how to take amazing care of this miracle you're living in. And that is the purpose of this YouTube channel. So as always, I hope that helps. Share this out to the world. You are a miracle. Don't ever give up on yourself.